It's all perfect because God is perfect. It's perfect. The size is perfect. The placement is perfect. The measurements are perfect. The construction is perfect. Why? Because God is perfect. And this is a representation of the presence of God. He's a God of order. He's a God of order. Next week, Lord willing, chapter 41 and 42, we're going to talk about the details and how they matter to God, and how all of those seemingly small, insignificant, inconsequential details in my life matter to God too. All of the details. It speaks to, and this is a takeaway too, it speaks to how God is concerned and cares about all of the details. Every little detail that seemingly is insignificant in my life, he cares about it. And so here's all the detail. And now continuing verse 13, then he measured the gateway from the roof of one gate chamber to the roof of the other. The width was 25 cubits, a cubit again 18 inches, then the handbreadth another 4 inches, total of 22. You can do the math. As door faces door, he measured the gate post 60 cubits high, and the court all around the gateway extended to the gate post. From the front of the entrance gate to the front of the vestibule of the inner gate was 50 cubits. Verse 16. This is an interesting detail. This sounds very nice, by the way. There were beveled window frames. Talk about detail. Now, wait a minute. Why do I need to know this? In the construction of the tabernacle, Moses was commanded to observe every single detail down to the color of the thread. Why? Because it pictured and pointed to the person of Jesus Christ and the finished work on the cross of Jesus Christ. You had the outer courts, the holy place, and the Holy of Holies, the most holy place. And the 7 articles, 7 the number of completion. And you look at the layout of the tabernacle and subsequently the temple, what do you got? The shape of a cross. The outer courts, the table of showbread, the lampstand, and then you enter the most holy place where the Ark of the Covenant was, that 7th furnishing. And there was, and if you look at it, bird's eye view, a cross. 3, the Trinity. And even the color of the thread was the color of the body of Christ. John 1:14, the Word became flesh and tabernacled amongst us. This was a picture prophetically of Jesus the Christ. So when we talk about the detail of beveled window frames, first of all, I'm so glad. Windows, by the way, and anyone who's built a house will tell you this, the placement of the windows is huge. In fact, well, never mind. I actually have a prayer window that I want, because I have to move when I sit. I don't pray as much or as long. Not that prayers have to be long. We talked about that at our prayer meeting Tuesday night. It's not the length of the prayer, it's the strength of the prayer. That does not apply to sermons, just so we're clear. But I just have a window that I'll stand in front of, walk back and forth in front of, and I just pray. I just look out that window. And I just talk to God like I'm talking to you. And so it's very special to me because windows bring light in to the place. And that's why these windows are there in the gate chambers and in their intervening archways. Cool, archways. How many of you live in a house that has an archway? Don't raise your hand, because we'll be covetous of you if you do. Archways on the inside of the gateway all around. And likewise in the vegetables, some of you have a great God-given gift of imagination. You can actually imagine this, and I can't. I don't know why. I guess on the day that gift was being given, I just wasn't there that day. But some people can take this. Oh, by the way, you can go, I'll be careful. You can go online and you can find renderings based on Ezekiel chapter 40's measurements of what this temple and all of the walls and windows and archways and everything would have looked like. Now there is some discrepancy. That's why I didn't do that. Could you imagine if I'd given you all a handout of the drawings of this? First of all, I'd lose half of you. You'd be staring at this thing all night going, wow, this is amazing. I'm going to use this for you don't have time, but if you wanted to build a house, you might want to consider using some of these ideas. But you can go online. For those of you that are, into that, and you know who you are, we won't look down on you or judge you, but you just really you get excited with this stuff. That's weird to me because, but you can actually see what this would have looked like. It's fascinating. So, there were windows all around on the inside, and on each gate post were, this is so cool, palm trees.